and I have been working with our new apprentice photographer, Kerry, and we're going to look at a few of her photos that she took on her first photo shoot and point out some of the main lessons that she was learning. So this is a family that came with her to Chinatown, and Kerry's assignment was to shoot wide and show off the location while also finding simple backgrounds amongst the busyness. So the first thing we noticed was that this shot here obviously has that flare of Chinatown behind. She was working with really difficult light. And we wanted to get a picture that was wider, but there were people behind. And so Kerry was explaining that she was feeling kind of, a little flustered because she felt, you need to get the picture. You don't want the family to wait too long, but there's people behind. What do I do? And we discussed it in this situation. You can try multiple things, like shoot really wide to get that full background of that building, and maybe you edit out the people. It's a pain, but maybe you do it. Or maybe you just stand and you tell the family, like, we're gonna wait until there's nobody behind you. And then sometimes you give up, or you try and use it differently. So like here, she could perhaps take a different angle and shoot more up, so it's just their faces, and then you see more of the sky, and it's less about the whole building and more about the cool roof. I'm just thinking about it a little bit differently. This was one of my favorite pictures from Kerry's shoot. I feel like it's just a rock star image because of the lighting. It's so bright in the background and their skin is dark, and they're both just so genuine, and this umbrella is creating this beautiful line, and I just wouldn't change anything about it, and so I'm just so excited that she took this beautiful picture. And it's interesting because you see when people are learning, when they're learning their photography, they get a picture like this that's awesome, and then they also have pictures in there that aren't as awesome, and the goal is to get more and more consistent. She had another awesome picture down here, which is this beautiful black and white one. So she got her black and white thing going on. And what we talked about here that makes it so nice is, just like the other one, there's this bright background. And there's a lot of negative space around them. And because their skin is darker, the white background helps them to pop out. And if they had lighter skin, you give them a darker background, they pop out. It's just a very simple, contrast rule. We also talked about hand placement, and so in a couple of the pictures, like here, notice her hand is kind of awkwardly placed in his crotch, and sometimes that happens naturally, like they don't realize they're doing it, and then it's our job to have really sensitive eyes as a photographer to go in and spot and move them out and be like, you know what, put your hand on top of his hand, or put it in your pocket, or you just try. So you have them stay there, put them in a few different spots, and then on the computer you can choose which one you like best. Same thing happens here in this picture. Hands are kind of there, like she has to go to the bathroom or something, and she probably doesn't, so we don't want it to look like she does. So bring your hands up a little bit and change something. And don't be afraid to ask people to make those little changes. I think often we think like, we don't want to make them uncomfortable, we don't want to make them think that we don't know what we're doing and we're having to try all these different things, floundering. But the more you make a little adjustments, it actually puts more confidence in the clients, because they're thinking, she knows what she's doing, she's being creative, she's trying all these different things. I think she, has the guts to be creative and create something cool that we'll like. Okay, another simple thing we were looking at was here with the lighting. We want to try and get even lighting on all of the people's faces. So here mom is half in sun and half in shade, and here the daughter is completely in the shade. And one thing that Kerry could have done differently is to have mom sit on the same side of this pot as the girl is on this pot. So right now they're facing in different directions, like perpendicular to each other. If they were to both face the same direction, the light would be the same. It's a pretty simple thing, but sometimes it's hard to remember that when you're in the moment taking pictures. So when you set up your shoots, whether they're sitting separately or together in a group, just be mindful of which way they're facing, and if they're facing all the same direction, there's a good chance they'll have the same kind of light, which makes the picture look more complete. Alright, I'll show you one more thing. So Kerry was trying to show off Chinatown. She took a picture of the cool dragon, which awesome picture, and she took a picture up here of the archway, which cool. But the difference is that when we're doing family photography, we want to incorporate the family into these shots because it's unlikely that the family are really going to want to have a picture of Chinatown by itself. Like, they're probably not going to print that picture off and put it above their fireplace. But if they were standing in this picture, like if they were down here and you could just see their heads, it's kind of cool. Or if they're bigger, or with the dragon picture, same thing. You could just take the same picture, but stand in a position where they're standing here. So they're now part of the picture, and suddenly the picture is way more dramatic and personal and meaningful to them, and they'll be willing to print it. Cool. All right. Enjoy. Have a great day. Bye.